Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And with that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsors. Organic herbs and botanicals, skincare and edibles, wellness for body and mind. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. Ronald Records. From indie gems to classic hits, discover the heart of local music. With live shows all the time, up close and personal, and regular releases on their in-house label. Ronald Records. Supporting the community, one track at a time. All right, thank y'all so much for watching. Again, shout out The Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Boiling Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Yo, what's good, everybody? This is your boy, Sayu Beatz.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm happy to be here, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about, who you are, where you're from, what you do. Give us that, Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
Yeah. So Sayu Beatz, music producer, songwriter, performing artist, right here, Vancouver, Washington. Been at it, production side of things. I've been at it for a little over a decade. Mm-hmm. And for about 3 years now, I've been actually writing and performing. So it's been
cool.
Quite the journey so far.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you started more in the production realm and then moved to performer.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, dude. It's been a wild ride. So my start of it, I come from a sports background. So I'm not even from a music family.
Okay. So was anybody else in your household musical at all, or
no, I mean,
nobody did any?
It's kind of funny because my mom, I guess I grew up off of music. I mean, in a sense, my mom always used to keep these compilation discs, the hits of the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. And then she took a weird turn and started going into pop. So I was listening to a lot of Backstreet Boys, a lot of, NSYNC, all of that. I didn't really get into hip hop music until Get Rich or Die Trying from 50 Cent came out.
Interesting.
So yeah, so about age maybe 21, 22 is when I actually started getting into music full time. And there was a buddy, old friend of mine, shout out to Young Lit Hippie. But yeah, I was running in the crew with him. We've been friends since second grade. And so I knew that he was doing music, and we was trying to find a way to add value. And so I really fell in love with the production side of things. My older brother, he had a friend that was heavily involved in music. Mm-hmm. He hooked me up with my first, production set. So it was
Gotcha.
This little keyboard, had a rickety set of headphones, and then a Reason 4 was my software.
Okay.
Yeah, which I haven't met a lot of people that actually use Reason. So
I only know a small handful.
Yeah, it is
now.
Yeah. So there's a special place in my heart for the people that use Reason. But that was my first software that I got into, and just fell in love with creating music from there, man. Doing the whole Kanye West thing, locking yourself in the room, 5 beats a day type of thing, and it's turned into a very awesome career so far.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Yeah.
And then before we get into more of what you do with it in the present day, I do have a couple foundation questions I like to check in with everybody on.
All right.
And this first one is one we ask early, it's one we ask often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
I don't even really want to, I haven't actually bought one. So I'll let you guys fill in the blanks with that one. But yeah, I haven't actually bought one. There were different websites too.
Gotcha.
I'll leave it at that.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. What was the first album you remember memorizing? The whole thing, every word, every breakdown, cover to cover, every single note.
Honestly, it would have to be Oh gosh, yeah, it's gonna have to be In Sync, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, I've listened to like so much music, but like a lot of the music that I grew up listening to, or a lot of the artists I didn't even know like who they were, because like I said, like my mom would just have like the compilation disc, so I'm hearing a lot of great music, but
she had every Now That's What I Call Music.
Yeah, exactly, dude. So I'm like, I would say like that, because we went to a lot of concerts, like pop concerts, and yeah, I'd say like NSYNC was probably the one. Like my mom used to make me and my brothers like stand in front of the family and kind of perform like that. Backstreet Boys. She'll know, she's gonna laugh at this, but yeah, I used to have us just stand up in front of the family and just perform these songs, and yeah, it kind of stuck with me over the years. So.
Hell yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And then what was one of the first live shows you ever went to that was specifically one you wanted to go to? So like you saw it was happening, you got the tickets, you went to it.
I would have to say that I actually bought tickets for. It'd have to be like Boo Bomb, like when they had Ice Cube, like the 500th time that he's been. Yep. It's like Ice Cube. I think it was like Ja Rule on it. Gosh, like a lot of different artists on there that I actually had to buy that ticket.
Yeah,
I had to go and check that out. But gosh, I'm trying to remember everybody that was on that bill.
Dude,
those was a lot.
Those are wild.
Yeah,
those are wild. I remember those for sure.
Yeah. And then like some tickets that I've also just like bought for my mom. Like we've been to like the Janet Jackson concert, like when she was out here one time before, and she was recently out here with Ludacris, which I hadn't seen Ludacris in concert yet. And so I had bought those tickets so we can be a full circle moment for her. And then for me personally, I'll be able to see Ludacris perform. So I got to see that.
Darn.
He brought out the big shoes, like, and everything,
of course.
like from the music video. I'm just like, all right, cool, like, mission accomplished, check.
Okay, well, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, dude.
And then before we officially get into the now, do you have a defining moment where you decided you wanted to take music more seriously?
Man, I mean, so before I actually started getting into music production, I was actually in business with my brother for a little bit, just to kind of skim through that. And the philosophy of what I was taught from that was just whatever you love, go for it. I'm paraphrasing that, like they said it a lot more in a beautiful way, but it's just like, whatever it is that exists in your daily routine is probably something that, you should be doing in your day-to-day, in your life, something that brings you life. And so when I went to business with my brother and kind of learned that philosophy, that's where kind of the dominoes started kind of falling into place, where the defining moment was, man, like I don't want to be, living this life of kind of like a little sad, like little depressive thing, little episode that I was going through. But it was at that moment where, I met that friend of my brother and like started actually thinking more about music when I started linking up with my buddy. And the moment that I touched that music equipment and made my first beat is when it became like really real to me. I was like, oh man, like I'm not bad at this. Like, keep going with it. And it's kind of turned into what it is now, man.
Oh yeah, I dig that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I've had I think everybody has like a lot of fork in the road moments of their life, the defining moments in their life, like, because that was what it was for, music production, getting into it. Now, getting into the artist thing, that was something completely different.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we'll touch on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna dive more into that now. Let's get into the now.
Yeah.
We are gonna get a super easy one out of the way first, though.
Cool.
How'd you pick the name?
Yeah, so I was going through a spiritual thing there. So Sayu, which is short for Spirit Appreciate Your Uniqueness. And I was going through like kind of a spiritual healing journey, and my buddy that I had mentioned, his mom is like more into that like spiritual, like holistic type of thing. And so I met up with her and kind of went through the series of like breathing techniques, and it was actually kind of her thing that like, oh, she's picking up from like her spirit guides type thing. And so it's honestly, I got to give a shout out to Sean. But she kind of like steered it in that direction. I kind of just, shortened it and just put Spirit Appreciate Your Uniqueness on it, which it really fed into my life, man. Like just a lot of just doubting yourself and just unbelief, like the second guessing. And it really resonated with me because of the fact that there's a lot of things that I could do that I knew I was capable of, but maybe I was too afraid to try it, too afraid to get into it. And so that name really resonated with me. So I always think it's important to have a name that kind of has some meaning to it. Like my original name was like The Natural Abstract. Like at one point, and I was just like, dude, what the hell is this? Like, like that. Yeah. I had a whole thing with it, but I feel like this resonates, with me more, and something that I want to eventually like have it be more than just a name for me, but like a way of living just in general, because I mean, anybody can be Sayu. Anybody could be that. Like, it's just about, what you're doing. Yeah. Like, this is your passion. Yeah, exactly, man. So, I mean, that's the goal at the end of the day. And so, yeah, the name it stuck with me.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that.
I still got a lot of people calling me Sayu. It's Sayu.
You got to put a little accent over the A or something. Something to make people like say it. They're like, yeah. Is it
I don't blame them. I don't blame them. They're just like Sayu. They're sounding it out. So, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. But I always got to make sure I correct them. Like, I'm sorry, dude, but it's Sayu. Like,
You could just put an I in between the A, like after the A. Yeah, there's a way you could do it, but we won't take up too much time on that. Now let's go ahead and let's talk about your writing process a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're gonna break it up into chunks, but we're gonna start right at the beginning. And I guess we're gonna kind of peer into a little bit more of your process at the same time. So, as you said before, you were just making beats before. Now you're making beats and you're performing your own music.
Yeah.
Do you make your own beats?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So then take us through the start. Like it's time to start a new track.
Yeah.
What does the beginning look like for you?
So a lot of the time, I mean, if I'm just, utilizing like a MIDI pack, or if I bought a pack like online, or if it's just something that like I just wanted to come up with on the VST, it always kind of starts with the melody with me. And honestly, that's where the writing begins, because like I'll hear the melodies in my head. I hear the cadence, like don't necessarily have the words yet, but it starts with that melody, and it kind of just builds up that cadence, kind of builds up like, okay, like maybe I could, say something in this pocket, something in that. And so I will go to my voice memo on my phone, and I'll capture that, that idea, that concept. That way, because there's been plenty of times like where I've had an idea for something and I didn't voice record it, and I forgot how I rapped it.
Yep.
Or forgot how I sang it, and I'm just like, shit, like I got to scrap this for a second or put this on the back burner. But it usually starts with, the melody, and then I'll do like the voice memo. That way I have that in mind. And a lot of the time when I finish my writing, like I'll sometimes finish out the beat, or sometimes I'll just like kind of export it and just have the melody with me. And a lot of the ideas I come up with songs that I write is where I'm at the gym. Like I'm at the gym, like I said, like I've come from like a sports background. And so a lot of the music that I've created have been something that can be along the lines of like, if you're playing basketball, this is the music that will play for that. Or if I'm like, there's been instances where I've written like a lot more of my intimate songs. Like a lot of the times I like to go down to the waterfront and just like sit out there on the water and, kind of have my earbuds in, and then I'll just like start writing from there as well. And so, it's just a bunch of different ways that I approach it, but it usually always starts with that melody.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And then like, as far as like, because doing the beats yourself, doing the words yourself, do you try to make time for each thing to happen individually? Do they like, will you stop one to do the other? How do you separate the two?
I literally had to carve out this month for just working on my project, because like a lot of the times like you'll be doing so many different other things that's kind of hard to actually focus in on it. And I think in the beginning it was a lot more easier because I was more just driven to write, but I feel like as time goes on, I'm actually putting more thought into what I'm writing, and kind of making sure I'm living out those experiences to be able to have something to write to.
What, you mean you don't have 4 yachts like your song says?
Yeah, nah. Yeah, well, those are manifestos. Like some of those songs.
Wait, no, that's manifesting. I don't think
manifesting. There you go. Yeah, there you go. You're picking up what I'm putting down. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's like a lot of the music that I've written in the beginning was just like me just trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
and like a lot of stuff that I'm just trying to manifest.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And God damn it, Jimmy. But yeah, man, it's just a lot of that. So a lot of the time it takes a little bit for me to like write a full song out. Mm-hmm. It's a lot easier for me to make the beat, obviously. Like, you know, I can do that all day.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the lyrics in and of itself, I want it to have some sort of meaning to it, whether it be for me or whether it be for somebody else. So it's a bit of a process. Sometimes I got to step away from it and do something completely different.
Yeah, you gotta do it. Shake the brain out a go bit. Exactly. And I know you said you're mostly putting stuff down in voice memos. Is that your like primary way of getting the words down? Do you do pen and paper? Do you go over to like notes at some point?
Yeah, I'm notes on my phone.
Okay.
Like I'll do that. But yeah, usually it's always going to start with the voice memo just so I make sure I have the cadence and how I want to like rap it or sing it. And then when it comes to the lyrics in and of itself, like I've had different techniques.
Yeah. Well, I mean, over time, it always changes.
Yeah.
$1 for every time I change my format up. And I've done hundreds of these, so.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
So, yeah, man. So yeah, usually is the notes on my phone. I've actually tried to do like the writing it out like on a like pen and pad type thing, but then my handwriting can suck sometimes, and then I'll have to like scribble it out like really quick and then like try something else. So the notes have been probably my primary when it comes to that.
No, I feel you.
Yeah, man.
And then, you know, because you do walk kind of in the realm of production side as well, you know, that's been your primary force at first.
Yeah.
I want to take a moment and kind of get into more of the technical side of things.
Okay.
First of all, what DAW are you using at the moment?
Now I'm using FL Studios.
Oh, so
yeah.
That to say Ableton.
Oh, whatever.
I'm kidding.
Don't let Pym hear that. Me and him have been
I make the same joke on every episode.
Yeah.
It's nothing personal. That's just what I've been using.
Yeah,
that's just what I've been using. I came from like Logic 8 and 9, and then didn't want to make the switch to X. Because I was just real bothered by I really wish I had. Wish I had like Logic now is real cool, but Ableton's pretty good. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you use. You know what I mean?
However you get the job.
I've heard people make cool stuff on Reaper, and I didn't even think that was an option.
I didn't either. Like, I'm still fascinated from people that make beats in Pro Tools. Like, I thought it was just mainly recording vocals.
No, you can.
That's it. But
you
like,
don't
people
want to though.
But people are doing that. I'm just like, I've met like some pretty like up there producers who are just like, yeah, this is what I make my beats out of.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, you're amazing. Like, how? Like, I don't get it.
Hey, I mean, at the end of the day, if it works, it works.
If it works.
They are all different roads to the same outcome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like I said, I've only met like one other person that has used Reason, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
believe I only know like 2. They're few and far in between. And
it is.
Because like, this is just what I've been using.
Yeah. Like I went from Reason to Machine. And so I used Machine and then went from Machine to, I tried my hand at Logic a little bit. Didn't really get very far with it. And then I went to FL Studios.
Okay. Well, hey, like I said, at the end of the day, if it works, it works.
It's a journey.
Do you have any like hardware gear that you use, like outside of the computer, or are you mainly just in the box?
Well, I mean, I got my like mini keyboard, like the little 32 keys.
Yeah.
And then I got my like Focusrite interface.
Okay.
Got my Sphere LX. I haven't even actually used yet, but it's like the emulator mic, but. Yeah, really not too much. And then, of course, I got my monitor speakers.
Okay.
But
so you're
in terms of like, it's
computer
mostly in the box. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
What was one of the like biggest upgrades for you? Like, and it could be software, it could be hardware, it could be like change of space.
Yeah.
Like, what was one of the like single things that you were just like, this made the biggest impact?
My laptop.
Okay. That counts.
I was using a crappy laptop like for the longest time. Like,
I feel ya. Trust me.
Crashing. Like, yeah. So yeah, I finally upgraded my laptop, and things have been running smoothly ever since.
That is,
So, yeah.
I super deep Jimmy lore here.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I had a pre-Intel MacBook Pro. It's like the last year we weren't doing the Intel processors.
Mhm.
I had that one. It's like, I think, a 2009. And I didn't get a new computer until the new M1 Mac Mini came out.
Jesus.
When it came out.
Yeah.
So somehow never had a computer with an Intel processor. I went from the last one without it to the first one without it.
Dude, that's wild.
But yeah, trust me when I tell you, game changer.
Out of any, like, if you don't have a good functioning laptop, like, it's hard to do really anything else.
It's rough that now, like, you really do have to get a new computer like every 3 to 5.
Yeah.
Like before, like, come on, I went 2009 to 2021, I think. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you used to be able to get away with that kind of stuff. Now, not so much. Everything is just so demanding.
Yeah.
But we're not here to be the crotchety old men and complain about the times. Let's get back to it. Once you get a track finished writing,
okay,
so it doesn't have to be like recorded and released per se, but you've gotten it written, you're ready to memorize it. How long does it usually take you to feel comfortable enough to perform a track?
Whew, man. Usually, I mean, gosh, I've remembered the song. I don't know. For me, it's different because it's pretty easy for me to like remember lyrics, and like a lot of my colleagues will be able to attest to that. Like, so honestly, it's probably taken like maybe like a week, maybe like less than that, because I'm just all about like, if I know I'm going to be performing it, it's just repetition, like every day, just whether I got the music playing or not, like it's all repetition for me. So, I mean, the soonest I was able to like remember lyrics to a song was probably like in like maybe 3-4 days.
Okay. Damn. All right.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, it really depends on how I write it. Like, if it's like more simple lyrics where I have like, if I'm just like rapping through something like quick, then maybe it'll take a little bit of time. But like,
you just gotta get the nuances.
where it's like, where it's like got like good even pace throughout the cadence. Like, I can memorize that easy.
Okay. Hell yeah, I dig that.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I did check out some of your music.
Oh,
so I jumped on Yield Spotify.
Oh boy.
And you've got stuff there going all the way back to 2022. So right in that realm. And from the start, you definitely have a really clean sound. Like everything I was listening on there was really fun. The beat on 10 out of 10.
Hey,
super sneaky.
Yeah.
But that whole track goes. King was another one that stood out to me. That was one where I was like,
dude, sick. Yeah.
But your range is solid. You have a really good understanding of like the foundation of a lot of different styles, and so you're able to like weave in and out of them pretty seamlessly. So a lot of your music really, like, you've got a good variety, but like doesn't feel like you were like, oh, today I'm doing flamenco, tomorrow I'm gonna do this. I couldn't think of another genre for now, but you get it.
Yeah.
But your most recent album, however, that was available, it says is it Sayu's Summer Beat? Sayu's damn it. Beats. Well, my thing autocorrected to Says, and I was like, it's not right.
It's all good.
But Sayu's Summer Pop Beats.
Yeah.
And those are cool.
Thanks.
Those are cool. So I come from an electronic background.
Yeah.
So like my listening ears were definitely on, and that's definitely where it was. It was more in that electronic pop realm. It was a lot more instrumental for sure.
Oh yeah.
Like it was really well put together. Urban Jungle and Summer High were probably two of my favorite tracks.
Oh,
I
sick.
appreciated that they were right next to each other.
Yeah.
That the tension between the two, like the way it goes from one to the other, was really cool. But that was a fun one. I thought that was a really like interesting perspective, because like I said, your other stuff, it did feel very expansive. Like you were able to kind of walk in a lot of realms.
Yeah.
And then you have this like whole electronic, primarily instrumental based album that just like is a whole other world.
Yeah, that one was fun.
It was a really good listen. Like there's a lot going on in that for sure.
Well, it's just like I want to make sure I definitely highlight the production, because like I've made so many beats, and like a lot of beats that like I didn't necessarily like have an artist in mind for, or just didn't really think to put an artist on. Like I just felt like maybe the beat was just too busy to like maybe carve out some frequencies for an artist to kind of get on there. And so that's what those beats, like I had like a crap ton of those type of beats that were just sitting on my hard drive. I'm just like, well, if I'm not gonna like pitch this to an artist, like what else can I do with it? Well, why not just like, I've been seeing other producers where they'll put like beat tapes, you know, on different platforms. And so I'm like, well, I got like all of this like kind of sound, like this EDM-ish, like whatever type of sound. Why not just like package all of this together and put it out there? And so
you never know when someone's going to be like, hey, I need this, please.
Yeah. And there's been a couple artists that like I actually kind of thought of as it was already out there, and to be able to refer them to like, oh man, like I can hear you on this, or I can make something like, you know, check this out. And if this is like a sound that you're kind of into, like I can create this, you know? So it's like finding a different way to being able to, like, I'm not a fan of the whole putting beats on like a beat store type of thing. Like I just feel like it takes the fun out of it, you know, the searching for the artist, like being an A&R in a sense. Yeah. You know, I love that. And so to be able to work with the artists I've had, you know, worked with thus far, like that's all just being genuine fans of these artists and just sending the music their way and just seeing what happens, man.
That's honestly, that's one of the best ways to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, and also there's something really cool, like as a person who like makes music, to get like somebody reaching out to you being like, hey, your thing and my thing would probably work really well together. Yeah. Give it a go. Here's some stuff for you to try. That's nice to be seen. And also just, you know, especially in the world of like rap and hip hop, like the artist producer connection. Yeah. Like when you make a good one, like that is the iconic team. You know what I mean? Like it's always the artist and their person who they get the beats and production from. Like that's
because you can totally have an idea in mind for a beat that you make until you bring it in front of this artist and they have a completely different perspective or what they're going to do with it. I'm just like, dude, I never would have thought of that, but I'm so glad that I sent this to you to be able to like, you know, do your thing on it. And it's like, it turned out so much better. Like a good example, going back to the buddy that I was talking about, Young Lit Hippie, there was one song that I produced for him. It was called Bikinis. Had nothing to do with bikinis. I just, you know, it was a summertime feel. It was just like, oh, like, you know, I don't know. It's called Bikinis. And so I lived out in California for about like a year and some change. And I was doing this thing to like make money where I didn't know like you could sign up for this thing called like One Iota. It was like one company that I worked with where you can actually be on the set of some of these TV shows. Like, so I was like on the set of like, say, The Voice, or I was on the set of like The Price is Right. And like with The Price is Right, Drew Carey, like I was like front row there. And Drew Carey, like during the commercial breaks, he would like come out and like kind of work his way around the crowd. So it would start on one side, work his way. And so finally he made his way over to me and like we started like talking. He was just like, oh yeah, where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. What do you do? I'm just like, yeah, I do music. And he was like trying to give me some sort of advice like on music, which he's just like, I don't know what else to like really give you on this. Like, hey, like, you know, it's like there's this music venue, blah, blah, blah. And I like told him about like he's like, oh, where can we find some of your music? And I was just like, I plugged that song, Bikinis. Literally like probably 5 minutes, maybe 5-6 minutes later, I hear the song playing on the big speakers in there. And I lost my mind.
Oh, like, shout out Drew.
I know, shout out to Carey, dude. Like that lives rent free in my mind forever. But it's like the perspective of the beat that I created versus what, you know, the homie did. Like that wouldn't have happened. Like I think if whatever I had in my mind in terms of what to do with it, I don't think it would have made it that far to like for them to play that on the big speakers. Like very much. It's always dope with that artist to producer connection. You can't get that when you're just selling beats online.
No. It's good. It comes from that community building.
Yeah.
But I am curious now, out of all of the music you have available that's yours, what are some of your favorite tracks to perform?
Well, 10 out of 10 is definitely like one of the crowd favorites. There's just been different ways that I've performed that song that just makes it that much more special to me. I've performed it in like a stomp clap type of fashion where I was at like a dance studio and just surrounded by like dance crews. I'm just having them like stomp their feet, clap their hands as I'm like rapping that. I've had one where it could be like an acoustic version where I'm just like singing it mostly. Like I've just performed that song in so many different ways, so that one's definitely fun for me. There's a new track that I put out or haven't put out yet, but that I love to perform. It's called Hustlin'. And that one, I love performing the ones where I'm able to get crowd reaction from it, to have the crowd singing along to it. So it'd be 10 out of 10. Hustling. One that I haven't performed that much, that I actually do love performing, and I'm trying to find my pocket with it, is Deserve, because it just has such a deep message with it. And I just feel it resonates with a lot of people, and I've gotten really good, reviews off of that. So, yeah. So I'd say those three. And Work, actually.
Okay.
Work too. Yeah, that one's fun.
All right. Now I want to take a moment and I want to zoom out. I want to look at kind of more music as a whole.
Yeah.
What are you listening to right now? What are you just taking in as a person who enjoys music?
Right now, I've been like on a kind of an ambient type of, like, still like on a hip hop, like, actually not really, dude. Like, I've been kind of all over the place. I've been listening to like a lot of alternative rock. Like Post Malone, like I've listened to like a lot of his stuff. Lovely the Band, St. John, like a lot of those type of like ambient style musics, because that's like the project that I'm sort of working on right now. And so it's given me that sort of inspiration of creation. So I've been listening to a lot of that.
Hell yeah, I dig.
Yeah.
And then for this next question, before we move on to this next portion, this next question is probably the densest question in the interview.
Oh, snap.
But we've talked about, your experience with music, the actions, the reactions. But when it's just you and music one-on-one, what does music give back to you?
Dude, music saved my life, dude. Like, it really has. And I know a lot of people, they say that. But it's like, before I started actually like writing and performing, like it was that fork in the road moment of where I was just moving back from California. Like I got to the was it the creme de la creme, or like kind of the height moment of like my production career, where I was like meeting people that were like, how I view is like on the inside looking out, like they're in the industry and they're sort of in the thick of things. And so I got to that moment, and things just didn't end up panning out the way that I had hoped it would. And did like I fell hard. Like I reached rock bottom, like the lowest of the low when I had moved back. And so when I was about to call it quits, I know in production, like it gave me life just to be able to create my first beat. And so I was trying to redefine myself and just redefine like what I love. And so I went to a meeting of the minds, and that's where I actually met my good friend Pyam, and met OG. Yeah, shout out to DJ Pyam. But I had met like all of these guys, and like I had in my mind, because in the back of my mind I always wanted to like write and perform, but I was always kind of afraid to do it. And the moment that like I made that, like I said that to the group, like we're all sitting around like in like a mini circle, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna record my first song and I'm gonna perform this year. And I said it haphazard, like I pump faked it, but like but I actually started doing it, and it's like in the beginning it's kind of like a Band-Aid being ripped off. Like it doesn't feel great, but it doesn't hurt at the same time. It's healed. And that was kind of the feeling that I was having, like coming out of depression and kind of stepping into this new thing. And gosh, I kept going with it, like even after I performed, like, which it was kind of like a mediocre performance. And usually when people kind of perform and it doesn't go kind of the grandiose way, kind of how they think of it, some people kind of quit right there. But I'm, by the grace of God, dude, I stuck with it. And dude, like I'm so damn proud of like just how far I've come with it, and just the music in and of itself. Because I know at this stage in my life, from the music creation, everything, it's all for me. Like it's all for me. I feel like as a producer, you're spending so much time trying to create yesterday's sound and trying to chase like what other artists are trying to have you create. Oh, make a this type beat, make a that type beat. Like, I want to make a me type beat.
Yeah, you're like, I don't make type beats.
Yeah, it's just like I wanted to do that, and I felt like it wasn't that. So when I finally started actually writing and performing my own stuff, just the writing part, forget the performing part, just the creating for myself, that just gave me whole new life and whole new just purpose of why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because I feel like a lot of people have to redefine what their why is.
Yeah.
And so that was my why, just doing something, pushing myself to do something that I was maybe afraid to do, and just letting fear push me forward instead of letting it hold me back. And so I'm so glad that I stuck with that and wrote my first song, recorded it, and then performed it, man. And I honestly do say, like, it has changed my life, like, in a major way.
Oh, yeah.
So music has given a lot back to me in that sense.
Very much so. Well, thank you so much for sharing that.
Of course, man. Dude, you trying to break me down out here, Jeffy, too.
All right, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to some hypothetical questions.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, and for these, sky's the limits. The questions are all made up, so the answers are allowed to be as well.
Cool.
But this first one is pretty straightforward.
All right.
If you could work with any one person, the only requirement is they have to be alive. Who would you want to work with, and how would you want to work with them?
You know what? I would work with Kid Cudi, actually.
Okay.
Kid Cudi, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I just feel like the project that I'm working on, like, just sonically, it's more along the lines of, like, what I would hear Kid Cudi do.
God.
And I just think he's just a dope dude, like, in general. Like, I feel like we grow up listening to our certain artists, and Kid Cudi was definitely one of those for me. So, yeah, I'd definitely work with Kid Cudi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then subsequently, who's a local artist that you're aware of that you haven't gotten to connect with yet, but you would like to?
God, dude, that's a tough one. I've connected with a lot of different talented artists. It's almost scary how talented the people are in the community here. But
oh, believe me, I'm aware.
Yeah, dude, it's just like, dude, it's so many. But god dang, like, it'd be dope. Like, let's see, I worked on a song with Mighty.
Shout out Mighty.
Shout out to Mighty. God dang, Rachel Wong is dope. I know I want to work on the one with her. God dang, dude, that's a tough one, dude. Like, there's so many dope people. I think Mike Capes is a dope one. I guess, like, the grandiose one, I guess, in the city would be, like, working with Amine, I guess, because, I mean, like,
you could always
I listen to a lot of his music too. Like, he's dope as fuck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
You could always do something with Milk.
With Milk?
Do you know Milk?
Oh,
you should definitely. It's MILC. Check him out after this. Shout out Milk. Come on the show sometime.
It's like, I've met so many dope people. Carmen Rivera, dude. Shout out to Carmen Rivera. Like, it's just the people that I've actually seen live are the people that, like, I want to work with. And I've seen so many people live. Like, there was an artist, I don't even know if they're still in town, but oh my gosh, why am I blanking on her name? The Last Artful Dodger. She'd be a super sick one to work with. Mike Bogan, like, that'd be a super dope. So it's an endless amount of people that I'd love to work with.
Aesop Rock's here.
Aesop, what?
Yeah, he lives in Portland.
No,
not ASAP Rocky.
Oh, okay. That's
Aesop Rock. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he lives in Portland.
He shortened it.
I got an email back from his team. He's on indefinite hiatus from interviews, so I won't be sitting down with him anytime soon. I appreciate the email back, though. That was nice of them to do.
Responded.
Yeah. They did go the mile to be like, hey, he doesn't do that anymore. Sorry.
Yeah,
I get it.
Dude, no, there's just there's so many different artists, man. Like, fan of all of them. Like, I want to get one in with Wavy, like Wavy Joseph. That would be a dope one.
Shout out Wavy Joseph.
Yeah. I can just keep naming artists, dude, that I want to work with. Like, I've worked with, like, a good handful of artists. But man, there's just so many more that I would love to work with.
Yeah.
So.
Let everybody know to do. At some people in the comments. Let's see if we can get this man linked up with some more people. And for this next one, like I said before, sky's the limit, and it's pretty literal in this sense.
Yep.
But if you could perform anywhere in the world, and you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access or building stability or power, it was guaranteed the best lineup, guaranteed the best show, and it doesn't have to be a venue. It could be anywhere.
Man.
Where would you want to perform?
Dude. I have this like picture that's like on my phone. It was like a generated like AI image, but it was like almost like this. It could be like out of a scene of Avatar. And it's like kind of this like neonish, like kind of like your like enchanted forest type of thing. I could really see myself like doing something like that, like even something like enchanted, like the redwood forest, or like something that like has nature in it, maybe like a backdrop of like water, like a body of water, and then just have like just a sick stage. And like the lighting is just like, it's something unique though. Like say maybe it's like mushroom lights. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like something that's like got like an enchanted feel to it. Like I can almost imagine like something at the Gorge, like a performance at the Gorge or like the amphitheater. But something that just has like this cool enchanted feel to it. Yeah. That I feel would just, it'd be an experience that people would never forget. So,
oh yeah, I dig that.
Yeah, I want to do something like that.
Oh yeah,
I think it'd be dope. Yeah.
And then to wrap up the hypothetical questions, if you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have not put out an album in 100 years, they could have put out an album yesterday.
Yeah.
Who would you want an album from?
Oh God. I don't know why my mind just keeps going back to Kid Cudi, dude. Like, oh, no,
that's all right.
What it is.
That's all right. I'd take another one.
That's like on the same like kind of lines of how he did. Because my favorite album from him is The Man on the Moon, End of Days. Like that's just my jam. So if it was like something like that, dude, I would rock with that.
Hell yeah.
At one point in time, it would have been Kanye, but yeah, he's got his own thing going.
Yeah,
he ain't gonna go down that path.
I hope he figures it out one day.
I hope so too.
I hope so too. Yeah. That's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. All right, but that is a super solid answer. With that being said, we are going to go ahead and start wrapping this up.
Yes, sir.
What can we look forward to in the next 6 months?
Next 6 months. So yeah, we got so me and Payam, we're gonna be planning our we've been doing our events. So we're gonna maybe have something going on in the month of maybe June or July.
Nice.
Got 2 shows for Fremont Friday up there in Seattle. So I'm looking forward to getting word back on that, because that'll be my first time performing in
that would be
Seattle.
Cool.
So yeah, that would be dope. Even sooner, like I said, like I carved out this month just to work on my own, like my first EP, you know, so I'm going to be working on that. So hopefully I'll have that to release within, you know, the next 6 months. And then I got a project that I'm working on with Magic 9 that we're actually going to be finishing up. One of our singles goes by Deja Vu. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to be shooting the music video actually this next Saturday. So yeah, dude, I'm very much looking forward to that.
Oh yeah,
there's gonna be a lot going on like in the next 6 months.
Definitely. Looking forward to all that.
Yeah, man.
For this next one, go and look straight at your camera. Tell everybody how they can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me on all platforms at Sayu Beatz with a Z.
Oh, easy enough.
Easy enough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've already said his name plenty of times, but yeah, shout out to DJ Payam. That's my partner of crime who I've been working with, just putting on these shows. I've been super proud of like the shows that we've been putting together and been getting great reviews. I mean, some people said that our shows are healing. I'm not going to go that deep into it, but I'm just.
But you're welcome.
Yeah. I'm super happy with how things have been turning out and kind of the recognition that we've been getting to it. And that's not everything, you know. That's not all of it, but
but I mean, it's nice.
It's special.
There's no reason that you can't be okay with it.
Yeah. It's definitely special, man. So shout out to him. Shout out to Mighty, because I know we're working on our project. Shout out to Magic 9. Shout out to Rachel Wong. I know that she was like the best new band. Shout out to Larissa Birdseye. I'm gonna be just
Larissa Birdseye.
She's out there in Japan.
I think they're back now.
Are they back?
They're back now. Yeah.
Well, welcome back.
Yeah, but they crushed it out there.
Yeah. No, so I'm just super proud of the people that are just doing really big things in the city, man. Shout out to OG1, man. Like if it wasn't for him doing the meeting of the minds, like who knows like what type of person I would have been. Like, you know, like I'm grateful that I went to that, and I'm glad for that he had a platform, with that. And so, yeah, super grateful of the OG one. I could just keep doing this all day.
You're all good.
Yeah.
All right. Now, with that being said, I've got one last question to go.
Yeah.
But before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second.
All right.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation.
Okay.
But in all of music, what is an album you feel is more on the obscure side? It's a bit of a deep cut. It's one not a lot of people would know, but it's one you think everybody should know.
I mean, I kind of plugged it, but I don't know if that's like a one that people didn't like. I think that's what Kid Cudi, got his rise to fame was with that. But, yeah, dude, Man on the Moon, End of Days, man. I've been back on that album, and it made a lot of sense. When you're listening to it as an adult versus the age, that was at when that, album came out, it resonates in different ways with you. And so, there's just a lot of tracks in there that were just that cut deep.
Hell yeah.
And also, I'm just goddamn, I love that album. So, I would definitely say that one. I don't know if it's one that people just haven't heard of.
That
but
counts. That counts.
Yeah. It counts, man. I love that album, dude.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for that. With that being said,
man,
we are going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Yeah. And this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
This is Sayu Beatz.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.